Here we are with another part. I'm going to try with headphones this time and see if the audio works. Hopefully my shirt won't bump everything and make all kinds of noise. Need a boom mic or something, right? I thought last time, man, I keep turning my head away from the camera and people are going to get this ooh thing going on and it might not be so much fun. So I went through and I sewed the ruffle pieces together, serged them like I showed before. You don't have to do that. You can zigzag across them. And I've made dresses where I didn't even, do anything to the edges and they were fine. So, little girls don't wear them a whole lot. Even if it's a favorite dress, they grow so fast. So, just whatever you've got that can work. So before I ruffle this, I realized I was getting all of the ruffling, the gathering stitches on all of these ruffles for different things, and I thought, oh, the bottom of the dress needs a hem. That's kind of important. So I just take all of this fabric here and just start rolling it. I fold it down. I don't worry about ironing because as it's going through the machine, the fabric just kind of gets a mind of its own as far as I'm concerned. And so I would rather just roll it, hand roll it. If you're trying to do a really tiny hem, then you might want to do something a little bit more precise. But when you've got tons and tons of ruffles, like I said with the pockets, the wonkier things are, the cuter they end up being, honestly. You want some things to be a little easier to handle, and there's a lot here. These are going to be very, very roughly. It's very seldom anybody's going to look close enough at the dress to really care what is, how straight the hem is or how thick or anything like that. So just got a whole lot of this to do. I also changed the bobbin thread. This machine, I've gotten pretty lazy. For the most part, I usually use a gray thread. I had run out of gray in the bobbins. I did her a little navy jumper dress and a little blue dress earlier this year. And then I had some white or off-white on the bobbins. I don't know if you can see that. You can't see this over here. I've got my little stash of bobbins that I've done here. And so I've got some navy ones and some blue ones and some white ones. And I really only had one empty one. And I think I just emptied it. So with this black, I'm using the navy. This is kind of a mottled black, so it's kind of cloudy. We'll see how it looks here in a second. If I take it to the county fair, they're going to be nitpicky about it. But honestly, you really can't tell that it's navy blue. And then I've got white on the underside. And it just kind of mixes in with the modeling. And like I said, once this is all gathered up and everything, nobody will know the difference, right? Remember the dorky homemade look. Nobody will notice. That's just my favorite quote in this whole book is nobody will notice. It's great. So if you haven't got that book yet, you need to get that book. It's awesome. So there's just a whole bunch of this. Once I get the dress actually going together, it will be pretty quick. In my younger years, yes, I will say it, I'm 50 now, I could make a dress in a day for the girls. And I'm pretty fast And part of that is I'm just not super particular. I don't get overly particular. I just keep on running it through and just doing my thing. And and I take as many shortcuts as I possibly can as I am aging. I just can't sit here for that long. So about 30-minute segments, about as long as these videos can be, is about all I can do. It's just really, hope this mic is working. It's just really, if you can't sit for that long, don't worry about it. Give yourself a specific time limit, or just kind of go until you start feeling a little bit tired. But don't, if I do that, then I'll sit here until I'm just absolutely exhausted and hurting really bad, and then I'm regretting it. So I have to make myself kind of get up and do something different every so often. And go prop my feet up in the recliner, get a drink. Make sure to hydrate yourself. Drinking lots of water. If you don't like the taste of water, which I don't understand that. I've always been a big water drinker. But if you don't like the taste of water, put some lemon or get you some of that herbal tea at the store and brew it and then put over ice in your water and add some flavoring. Don't use the aspartame stuff. That's nasty. Aspartame is poison. Of course, I'm not a doctor, medical professional, or anything like that. But a lot of people think they're going to diet stuff and they're using sugar-free and they're going to get all healthy. And that's just not. Statistics and actual science papers just absolutely prove that that's not the case at all. And good old-fashioned honey is good for you. And sugar, I'm careful about my sugars. I'm allergic to beet sugar. It makes me terrible sick. So I only use cane sugar, and I use the raw cane sugar as often as possible. But it's very high glycemic, so I've got severe hypoglycemia. So I have to really be careful of that. So I don't sweeten a lot of things. Whenever I've really got a sweet tooth going, I might do agave nectar. It doesn't have much of a glycemic index, so it doesn't bother my blood sugar, like at all. Whenever I make lemonade, I've gotten to the habit, our chiropractor got me into the habit of making lemonade with just fresh squeezed lemons and maple syrup. And you wouldn't think, but it's really, really good. And so that's kind of how I do that. I love lemonade. Absolutely love lemonade. In the summertime, I like to do like crushed ice, and sometimes I'll put like lemonade in the ice cube trays. So it's already flavored in the ice and it won't water down as your ice melts. And or do some strawberry juice or something like that and just give it an extra fun there. I'll also freeze like pre-make smoothies and freeze that as well. Let's see, where did that go? I've been rearranging my stuff and trying to decorate a little bit, make it a little bit more of a happy place to come in here and see. I've got my picture of my children here, which is the majority of what I sew for, and I put a couple of craft book, a sewing book and a crochet book. I like crochet a little better than knit because I don't have a lot of patience for knitting. It takes me forever. So I do some crocheting. I guess you can't even see it, can you? Let's move that over. So I've got an old sewing book, and then I've got, this is a DVD, and then these were some books that I taught children. It was kind of like a scout slash 4-H from a Christian perspective. Contenders of the faith and keepers of the home. Practical skills for children. It's really neat. And they've got all kinds of artsy craftsy things and stuff in there. So, finally got that one done. Yes. So now what we're going to do, make sure my needle's going downwards. I'm going to pull this out a ways, and then I've got this. This is going to be the bottom ruffle, and this is going to be the next ruffle. And then I folded this in half, and I did iron this one, and that'll be the top ruffle. So there's your little bee stripes. So I'm really excited about that. Kind of too fun. So now I need my gathering stitches. So I'm going to pull this over here, and woof, it's a mess. That's what my little granddaughter would say. Oh, it's mess. Yes, it is. Okay, and then turn the stitch all the way to the longest length that it can go. Make sure I'm not going to get tangled up in my thread here. And then for this, because the threads will tend to break, sometimes I'll just do it from seam to seam. That way I have a smaller area, and if a thread breaks, I don't have to redo the whole thing. So, and I have been known to just kind of pleat things up. On my other machines, I have a ruffler foot, and I love that, but I can't be bothered to get that out right now, so we're just going to do this. Get that started. Clip this, and this will be my gathering thread here. Move this out of the way. Since this is such thin fabric, it's like already starting to gather it. So it's got me a start there already. Ah! It's long. I'm telling you, these ruffles are just going to be so ruffly. If you're going to have ruffles, you might as well have some good ruffles. And then there goes the dogs. They're excited. Somebody's drove up, UPS man or FedEx man or somebody exciting like that. So I've just kind of pulled this extra thread here. So I have that for the gathering. And start and go to the next. Oh my goodness. This is fraying. And no, I did not go ahead and serge this, because once I get these all together, then I will serge them, and it will just really, I'm crookedy and everything. It'll really hold everything together nicely. That way, if she gets crawling on the floor and pulling on her little ruffles, it will be fine. And it doesn't matter what color your gathering threads are, because for the most part you're going to pull those out. And like here, I'm not even worried about if it's too terribly even, because this is the bottom ruffle. So it doesn't matter. And the more uneven it is, the more it will stand out separately from the other ruffles. So I'm just kind of haphazardly, just very, very fast, going through here, doing these little ruffly ruffles going on here. Da, 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 da. And there we've got it. And then we will pull that up and pull this out, and then we will have the next one. We'll go ahead and go back and do this one. And this isn't super exciting part. It's going to be attaching the ruffles that is going to be a lot of fun, right? So whenever I start to ruffle this up, I'm going to take the little dress and I will just pull these ruffles together and pull these ruffles together until they start fitting. And hopefully I will get that on video as well for you. But since there's all kinds of activity going on in the house, I'll go ahead and make this one short. And happy ruffles.